What's up, Nick? You call me soft?
Yes, we're live potentially, so hot mic maybe. God save the Queen. Welcome back, Overwatch League fans. My name is George, joined by Hex. Once again, a brand new week, a brand new set of games. We have the Hangzhou Spark facing up against the Chengdu Hunters to start us off the week.
It's really late, but we're going to get through it. Put on the kettle. Make yourself a pot of coffee. I know I've gone through a couple already today. We'll see if we can get through it. But yeah, I'm actually really excited. The Chinese teams last year broke onto the scene, and I think they exceeded all expectations. The Spark looked really good to end the year. Chengdu was a team that just, I think everyone fell in love with because they do their own thing. They go to the beat of their own drummer, if you will. And so these teams have been playing against each other in our Pacific region and just kind of cannibalizing each other. So each one of these games really matters, trying to get those records up here. And it's also a brand new week for hero pools, too.
Oh, yes, it is. I think Chengdu Hunters, for me personally, coming into the 2020 season with the hero rotation, I thought, well, you know what? They're probably going to do their best because they play their own style and the meta's going to change every week now, so it might as well be their time to shine. Unfortunately, it hasn't looked too hot for them thus far. 1-3 currently is their scoreline. And going up against Spark 2, they've never actually won against Spark in the history of the Overwatch League, so it's going to be a tough matchup regardless.
I believe that one win was against Shanghai, and I think they 3-0'd them or something. I think it was the first week they played. Doesn't really matter here. So the interesting thing that I want to talk about with hero pools, and we're going to get into rosters as well, is Hangzhou ran the exact same lineup last week every time they played, and most importantly, they ran a Reaper and a Sombra. Can you guess which damage heroes are banned this week? It'd be Reaper and Sombra.
Is it Reaper and Sombra?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're out of the pool. They're drying off. They're just chilling. So now they can't play that. And that means that we're probably going to see a different lineup from this squad. Most importantly, I think, is Bazzi is out of the lineup. He was playing the Sombra for them last week, and Godsby is going to be coming in. He'll be joined by Adora on his team as well. Gushue, of course, will be playing main tank, Sashin on the off tank, and then the true lineup in the back line that's been playing for this team for a long time is Bebe and IDK.
Well, Wrecking Ball wasn't banned when Chengdu found their first win this season, and guess who's not banned again is Wrecking Ball. So, can Among get to the backline successfully? I've got to be pretty scared if I were him. He's going up against Godsby, who's pretty famous on the McCree and just a hit scan legend in general. I mean, you kind of know what they're going to play, right? I mean, his Orisa has been pretty good, but Wrecking Ball is really where he strives and where the rest of the team strives too. If you think about how they're scrimming and how this team has been practicing for the longest time, it has been more like dive-centric with a Wrecking Ball or trying something rather off the wall. And like you said, that's one of the reasons why they're your favorite team to watch and why they've garnered so many fans as well. But it almost becomes predictable what they're actually going to do, regardless of it seeming off the wall. It's like, okay, we know Among's going to play Wrecking Ball, so we can't shut it down with Sombra, but there are a few actually heroes that can do the job. Not as well, but close enough.
Well, I mean, they are predictable in as much that Jinmu is probably going to try to run Pharah, like, wherever he can. He's been playing the most Pharah in the league for several months now. We've kind of got a little scouting information on how the scrims were going this week as far as the meta is concerned. A lot of Orisa, and usually paired with another shield tank, so Orisa Sigma, Orisa Reinhardt came into prevalence as well. So I think Chengdu may start on that, and then if everything is going poorly because Gushue does have a better Orisa statistically than Amon does, then maybe you try to switch it up a little and bring it in. But let's go through the rest of this Chengdu roster. It's going to be Jinmu, of course, Leave, one of the best players who's been playing in this region for a very long time, Amon, Elsa, Keo, Evital.
Yeah, they look pretty menacing, or at least trying to at the moment. You know, the big fluffy cuddly pandas, they need a couple of extra wins before they can start biting the limbs off their opponents, I think. Right. Maps coming up though. Nepal is the first one, Control. And we spoke a little bit about this during our rehearsal and during a little bit before the games and the show actually started, but Nepal a little bit more forgiving when it comes to Wrecking Ball, especially when you jump on something like Village, Shrine, you were saying as well. You can just kind of spin to win around the central column. There's a lot of high ground for you to use, and then if you go to Sanctum as well, there's a massive pit that you can boot people in.
Yeah, I mean, all that said with the meta talk and everything, and the scrim talk and what the meta is, China's always been a region that does their own thing. As far back as I can remember to the OWPS days, they were playing Doomfist before Doomfist ever got popular. They kind of do their own thing no matter what. Early on here, as we prepare to attack on the very first stage of Nepal, it does seem that we've got some Reinhardts, Orisa as well in there. I think we're going to see a lot of Baptiste, though, from what I've seen, but both these teams running very different lineups.
Well, that is why I wanted to see the Godspeed on the McCree. A teleport forward, though, for the Hunters. Leave is going to change over to the Kree as well. Jinmu and Adora, yeah, they've got Tracer versus the Mei. So ideally, Hunters here just want to rotate as fast as they can to the point, as they do have double shield too. Adora's going to have a very hard time actually getting anything done, although you have to replace the shield with Orisa. It's not as annoying for the Tracer going up against someone like a Sigma, so he can thank his lucky stars for that one, but they are going to change over. Speed boost back to the spawn with IDK, and Adora changes over to the maze. The point unlocks.
I do like this from Chengdu, though. They're going to run double shield, but it's not Amon on the Orisa. It's actually the Reinhardt. He's had great success on Reinhardt before.
God, they tried to wall off on the high ground, but beautiful wall actually coming through from Jinmu on the stairs to stop the rest of the team rushing them. Coalescence comes through. They're going to have to do a little something here, as Hunters have capped the point in time, as Leave just gets murdered on point. Godspeed just ran him down. Kushway was not holding shield. He was just WM1 the entire way. Amon has Shatter, but he's getting bullied. Shatters the shield. Doesn't quite land on Sashin. I thought it did, and I think he thought it did as well. Elsa ends up falling as Adora finds the kill, and the Hunters will get quickly and cleanly cleaned off the point as Spark ends up finding the cap.
Adora had cycled through several different heroes before this fight began, even briefly on the Tracer, but deciding that the right hero pick for this stage in particular on Nepal is going to be the Mei. You saw how important the walls are, and this point is tailor-made around Mei walls. You block somebody off, even when Mei wasn't, well, the Mei that she is today, even just a little snowflake coming down from the sky. She was always good on this stage.
Oh, yes, she was. It was very popular back in Korean Contenders 2018-2017. What are you doing up there, Leave? You're no HP!
Yeah, but it was
Sartin just solo grabs him. Like, why not? You win the fight now, right? Window has been used as well in that very small room, so yep, that's just a back off from Spark. A bit of a miscommunication there, it felt like, from the Hunters. Leave off on another planet, and then Kyo using the window in that small room, getting no value.
I don't dislike solo grabs, but I really don't think that one was necessary. It's a 1v1
Well,
with Zarya and a McCree at like half health. Like, sure, you win the fight, but you'd like to have the grab in this fight.
That's a very aggressive flank here from Leave. That's what maybe he was trying to do a little bit earlier on. That Graviton Surge is going to do a whole bunch of work, though. Sashin and the rest of the squad just going to clean everybody up. A lot of ults thrown in there by the Spark. They did use Coalescence, Grab, Shatter, and the Blizzard. Bit of a wholesale of ults being thrown in. But Hunters did the same. They did use the beat in that last fight as well. Does mean Spark are going to have that on potentially the last fight. These fights have been going incredibly slow, Hex.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really impressed with Sashin's play. Watching what he did last week, there were a lot of fights that it seemed like the Spark were completely out of it, and then he comes in with like 3 kills on his Zarya. It's been a very good hero for him.
That was almost disaster. Kia almost got trapped off on the side. There's the Blizzard on the point. Gushway's dead. That's a nice little freeze onto Bebe as well. Godsy's going to say sayonara to the rest of his team. Easy sweep for the Hunters. Only using the Blizzard in that fight. Not too bad at all. Mei, a very good hero, apparently. Who'd have thought, huh? You can create terrain and you can freeze everybody as well, and almost insta-freeze them if you hold left click too.
Changes incoming on her, but we are not on that patch just yet. So the Thermo Blaster, whatever it's called, little freeze ray, is still has 200 ammo on this patch.
Oh, high noon. Immortality Field's going to go down. They're going to have to kill it first, though. Godspeed with a 2-piece. Thank you very much. Elsie and Q's heads ripped clean off. There's the beat as well. Last fight for the Spark as they do run towards the point. No one from Hunters now contesting, but 5% away from claiming Village. They do have Yveltal in the back line. Is going to find the touch, causing overtime to tick. There's the flashbang. There's the kill for Godspeed. And the wall to wall everybody off as well. No way they're going to be able to get back in time. Elsa on the wrecking ball to try and touch, but it was not enough. And Village will go over to Spark.
Very nice play there from the Spark, and this always worries me about the Hunters is that they change up so much and that there's always a different hero on the field. And this comes even early on of maybe Season 2 of the Overwatch League, where they play chaotic, and sometimes when it works it looks really cool, but sometimes it's like, why aren't you coordinating ultimates better? Where are you using ultimates in situations? Maybe got a little bit of the better of them there. We'll see if they want to roll out these same compositions, as Sanctum is a bit of the outlier map when it comes to Nepal, plays a little differently than the other two. Of course, both of these Symmetras are just for the teleporter to get the mid-fight quicker.
Yep. Bada bing, bada boom.
Near match.
Got to be actually on the Hangzhou. There we go. So it's going to be a match, 6v6, obviously. I don't know why I said that. Of course it's 6v6. I meant the same heroes versus the same heroes.
In 6 on both sides.
Yeah, funny that, right?
It's the best kind of
I think I've been playing the wrong game all these years, to be honest with you.
A nice headshot early on. It's not going to account to much as both teams just trying to feel each other out. Crack shields here. Try to get halts. That was close.
It's going to be okay. He got discorded. Oh! God's been in a little bit of trouble there as well. Point has unlocked, mind you. The rest of the Hunters, in fact, splitting up here. You can see Elsa on the sidelines. Yeah, Godsby definitely not expecting that. Jinmu's going to be with him as well. Elsa does get walled off. That's a bit of a Tetris formation there. Not entirely sure where Jinmu thought he was, and I don't think he knew either, to be honest with you. Now he's just hiding in the corner. Almost has Blizzard available as well, as Sarshin does end up going down, but Adora does trade the kill. Good thing having your Mei alive on the point. She's going to be able to survive for a whole heap of time, as Among does end up going down. And now Spark making themselves a little bit more known. Leave is going to punish Bebe for being a little bit too aggressive there, but the point will end up getting capped by Spark.
Yeah, Amen was out in no man's land with about 10 health left. He was going to get cleaned up there, and Bebe will oblige him on his way out. 2 support ultimates about up for the Hangzhou Spark. Meanwhile, the Chengdu Hunters support line lagging behind a little bit. But the DPS a little bit ahead of their ults for Chengdu as well. Maybe can get to Blizzard a little bit faster, try to open this one up.
Yeah, Jinmu has got that Blizzard, like you're just saying. They're going to push rather aggressively. Their shield's going to melt. You see that? Leave just firing a couple of storm arrows in it, a couple extra arrows, instantly goes down. Jimmy's actually on the point alone. No one contesting him currently. There we go, finally. Are they going to get the free cap? No, but the Blizzard's going to get eaten. That's disastrous. Hunters now have to play around, what, a Transcendence maybe? Here comes the Blizzard from Adora, forcing everybody from the Hunters away. They're going to claim so much space and time here now. Gushwei has got that supercharger coming online, but he's not going to need it. That should just be it for this fight. The one ult that they needed and the ult advantage that they had as well just got eaten. That's what you like to see from your Sigma player.
That Blizzard could not have been more telegraphed if it was written in Morse code. That was so easy to spot out. Gets eaten up immediately. It's such an important ultimate on control maps to just toss it in there like that. And again, I mean, it's... when it doesn't work for the Hunters, when individuals aren't making enormous plays, it looks really sloppy.
Now, what are they really going to do here? I mean, they got a lot of ults, but with the Spark playing so split here, it's going to be fairly hard to pick anybody off. Very optimistic Dragon Strike through the sides. Cosby's going to send his out as well. A little bit more path. That's a beautiful hole. Among almost falls into the pit, and he gets dragged back into the Dragons. Oh, he couldn't play Overwatch for a good 10 seconds there. Unfortunate. Now Spark going to use that supercharger. Increased damage now as the Hunters try and flood onto the point. 4% away. Someone's going to need to touch, but Sashin is going to open things up with the Flux, pushing everybody away, and the Spark are going to claim the first map in the series.
I really think it's going to come down to this Orisa fight back and forth between the two. Like I said, Gushwei just outclasses Amon in almost every statistical category. Supercharger assists, Amon has like 0 on the year. His ultimate use is not good. He doesn't really get kills on it. And we talked about this a little bit in rehearsal, Jack, that I think they're going to try to play this meta, but I think the moment that Amon's Orisa starts getting exposed, which I think we started to see the cracks a little bit there, you might just have to go back and just do what Chengdu does.
Go ball. Just play the ball. Like you said, statistically just getting demolished right now by the front line of the Spark. We're going to jump to a quick break though, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you in a sec.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor. And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League. Coca-Cola is the official...
Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Spark facing up against the... For the Spark, 2-0 on Nepal, just like the price of wine gums in the US, $7. Like, you can get them for like £1 down the co-op, mate. What are you doing? Anyway, we're going to jump onto Hollywood.
I didn't understand most of those words, but that's anything new for me.
Wine gums, get them down co-op, man. It's all right, mate. You'll visit the UK one day, you'll understand. You'll get all the lingo.
I was in London once. It was all right. I like
okay.
Spoons. Spoons was cool.
Spoons is nice. They're on every corner. Actually, where I grew up, funnily enough, I grew up in a port city, funnily enough, because it's called Portsmouth, and there's literally a pub on every corner. It is crazy. And then most of them are Spoons, surprisingly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the Midwest, so it's just about the same thing there. If there's a stoplight in the town, there's at least three pubs.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to Hollywood. Well, get on to Hollywood, that is. Spark, well, like we said before, kind of destroying them statistically right now. Hunter's not looking so great whatsoever. And it was kind of hard. As soon as you forego and throw your Blizzard into the E, it's kind of difficult to regain control against Mei, such a strong character at controlling the points. And then you have the Spark who were just splitting up their damage. They had one person on one side with one tank, another DPS on the other side with the other tank, and it's just so hard to kind of pinpoint where you want to pressure. And then you have Mei contesting the point as well. Hollywood's going to be a different story, of course, different map architecture, and we will have Spark on the attack first.
Yeah, and the Hangzhou Spark actually have the second fastest time on Hollywood ever at 4 minutes and 20 seconds against Washington in 2019. So obviously it's a map that they're very familiar with. Not a ton of changes on this Spark roster too, so this is pretty much the same squad that almost set that record.
Well, this is what we wanted to see, actually, what you were saying in the pregame. Get me some Pharah. Pharah's not bad at all on this map. It's a little bit more difficult to kind of get an angle if the Pharah's playing fairly defensively. Obviously, Godspeed's definitely the one person you want on the hit scan to take out that Pharah. He's actually going to start on the Widowmaker. Probably just a peek out. I can't imagine he's actually going to keep it. His McCree was rather famous here, I must say so.
His Widow's pretty good as well.
Oh, yes. Nope, does look like, yeah, he's just checking security. Changing over to the Kree. They know there's a Widow. So no, there's a Pharah, but no, Godspeed actually going to stay on the Widowmaker. A little less consistent damage in the front line, but that's what you have Adora to really turn the backs of everybody. Double shield is so punishing for the Widow.
Yeah, this is mostly just to try to deal with the Fair Mercy. He's just trying to get shots in now that the angle is denied, but you can get a nice grapple shot here, and you really want that burst damage, but Adora, gone.
Yep. That's one rocket. It's one kill. Easy as that. Now, Jinmu, like I said, can just hold so defensively here. You can obviously grapple above security with Widowmaker. You can use the tree, or you can use just the white building above it to get a nice grapple shot. But because Jinmu is playing so close to those big double doors, it's going to be impossible for Godspeed to actually do anything. He's waiting for Spark to enter the point so the shields get rotated, and he has a good sideline.
Yeah, using this architecture, this is always where you see Bard when he gets Bebe on the entrance.
This is just disastrous. This is it. I mean, you can't really do much from here. IDK is going to maybe escort people out. In fact, Leave ends up going down for some reason. And now Sashin and Gushue are going to be trapped in there, but Mori's going to come back rather quick sharp, although Jinmu is paying him a brief visit as he did take out Godspeed as well. But they're actually trading 1-for-1 here, make that 2-for-1 as they ends up going down as well.
Yeah, Jinmu left to go try to camp the spawn and to make sure that he was able to deny the Moira on the entrance there, but it's the tank line for Hangzhou who just end up picking up a lot of the kills. This one's getting super scrappy, but it happened last week for Hangzhou as well when the fight looked over. Sashin comes into these giant plays on Zarya.
A big kill on Yveltal there by Adora. Now Jinmu has to play a little bit more scared, and Adora takes out the duo in the skies, and Among on the ball. Where is he? Well, he's in Spark spawn. He's going to be able to get back to the point rather quickly, but he's just trying to deal with Godspeed, who's got the perma pocket from Bebe, and that'll be IDK picking up a couple of kills of his own. Nice little melee to finish off Elsa. And there's the point unlocked. 4 minutes now to move through the second stage.
IDK is one of my favorite Lucios in the league because he seems like he has both styles. You have kind of defensive Lucios who play with their team and are always in the right spot, always good at peeling. You have really aggressive Lucios, like FD God comes to mind off the top of my head, Funny Astro. And then I think IDK's just got both of those in his kit. And he can hit the switch anytime where he's like, okay, I'm done defending, goes after it, and ends up getting kills. I think he's a top 5 Lucio, and I don't really think there's much of an argument about it.
There's zero argument from me. Zero. I mean, my Lucio is terrible, so I have just a terrible judge of that, to be honest with you. Godsby with a beautiful little kill onto Lee. Nice little headshot as well, actually forcing Jinmu all the way back once again. A lot of ults for Spark as they do move through this second stage. Yveltal does end up going down as well, so can't even use that Valkyrie to assist his team. This car is basically moving for free right now. They have to do something, and they do just that to bring Godsby up, but the beat is going to save him for the time being, as well as that Coalescence just ripping through the front line. Among's going to go down to a swift headshot from Godsby. Adora does fall, but Godsby's still alive, and he's the one you want to keep up and well. The car is still moving. Hunters have to touch, but look at that, a grab off the point. Thank you very much. Sashin does all the heavy lifting there at the end, forcing Hunters to do something, and they get grabbed off the point.
The grab up top. You want to live that high life? Live it up there. Sit in your penthouse while we just push this cart all the way through. It is pin all Spark. I mean, it was a little brawly on the first point, but since then they've been rather unopposed. And yeah, now it forces Chengdu to get off the far. You can't run the far at this point.
I mean, you can, but it would be a throw. It would be a
yes.
throw pick. It would be a Josh Sideshow Overwatch throw pick. Sideshow Gaming, I should say. Sorry, Josh. Bebe and Gushue end up going down. Rather quick cleanup here. Now the problem is for the Spark, Adora's going to have the worst time imaginable trying to actually kill anybody here. Yveltal go like, who's he actually going to pick off realistically? He's going to get one shot as well by Jinmu if he's not careful. I say that, and he ends up finding a kill, although it does look like we're going to jump into a brief pause.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's kind of your fault there. You killed Elsa.
Oh,
that's the caster curse for sure. Leave has been the bright spot for this Chengdu team on the Tracer, at the very least, with 4 final blows. I mean, you just don't really want to give up second as quickly as Chengdu did. Second's a pretty decent spot to hold. Defenders-wise, you have the high ground, you've got the Pharah, you've got rooftops to play with. But just Hangzhou didn't have to really commit a whole lot to that very first fight. So you saw it there. They were able to grab, and now we're out of pause, right back in it.
Leave. Ooh, the pulse! He's good. But the pulse wasn't that great, not gonna lie. Right. Among is now switching over to the Reinhardt, wants to be a little bit more mobile. They've only got that Coalescence ready to back them up. The car hasn't really stopped moving whatsoever. Hunter's refusing to contest at this point. Nice little flashbang kill onto Leave as well. You can hear that music right there. Payload is almost delivered to that third point. Coalescence is being used by the Hunters to try and feign off the aggression of the Spark, but Elsa gets caught out in no man's land in a different strat. Like, where is he? There's no way near, he was nowhere near Among, and now Among is going to get taken out on the sidelines as well. Just a roll from the Spark. This is really about it. The cheeky reload from the ult from Godsby. He didn't need the ult. He doesn't really mind all too much. That time bank's looking pretty healthy as well. 2 minutes and 46 seconds, Hex. What is going on?
I mean, it's a lot of what we saw on the control map as well. The tank players for the Hangzhou Spark are simply outclassing the tank players for the Chengdu Hunters. I mean, Gushue and Sashin, they kind of brought back the very first take on Hollywood First for this squad. And since then, it just seems like Amon and Elsa don't know where to be to help each other, and it's making the support life hard. And a lot of that in the very first time, too, is like, you know, you've only really got one support for both the tanks because Yveltal is generally going to be in the pocket of Jinmu up top. But this is kind of what I anticipated. If Chengdu plays the style of another team, it doesn't really work out for them. And so far, I mean, Amon is on the Reinhardt there. It forces Elsa onto the Orisa. Neither looked great. And yeah, I don't know. At what point, if you're Chengdu, do you just let it go, try something different?
Just let it go. Let it go.
Well, I mean, Elsa is in the server.
Yeah, I was. Well, you know, I wasn't going to go there, but you definitely did take it there. You know, I've never actually seen Frozen. I think I've seen only half the film on a flight once. That was about it. Apologies to any Frozen fans in the chat. Yeah, unlucky Leave.
It's a nice shot, but that's one of Leave's 6 deaths He leads the server in deaths, not exactly the stat you want to be the top one on. He's got 6, a couple other people on his team have 4, but Leave didn't get a whole lot done that round. There were some moments he had on Tracer where he was the only one getting anything done, but it comes to a point where if you're the only one getting something done, then you put yourself in bad situations because you feel you have to carry, and then maybe that's what happened to Leave there. Hangzhou with another blistering time here. We talked about how they have the 2nd fastest record on this offense.
Well, now they're going to go for the same sort of thing that they went with on the offense, on the defense, sorry. Apart from they do have a Baptiste to back up the tanks. A little bit extra healing. Doesn't like Hangzhou Spark. Yeah, they don't want to hold high ground. You don't really want to get booped off at any one point. So it's kind of a smart decision to roll around at the back. Give them a little bit of space, but it also opens up Godspeed to take a lot of shots here at the Fire and Mercy combo. Uh-oh, well, that's not a good start at all. And now you have basically no healers. But Godspeed is going to go down. So that's actually not the worst trade in the world, considering how fast you're going to be able to get back. And Sashin will also end up falling. So now the Chengdu Hunters can really pile on the pressure. Those dumpsters aren't going to fare well against all these rockets, and Jinmu flying straight towards them. Bebe didn't really stand a chance, and neither do the rest of the Spark. Leave losing the 1v1 to the support. Immortality field. Oh, it feels so good to be a Baptiste. Not until you just get dunked on by a tank, though. That's a bit unfortunate. He almost won the 1v1.
Look,
but Hunters are having a really good start.
You didn't have to call them dumpsters, though. That seemed a little out of line, Jack.
Fined. Fined and banned on your main account. Unfortunate.
Well, I mean, now they're in a good spot.
Type it in all chat.
Fair Mercy in the Westworld can be really good. Automatic high ground control, and without Diva in the pool right now, there's no one to really send up here to harass. That's why I thought that maybe Jinmu can get a lot done because, yeah, I mean, hit scan counters this, but look at this cheeky wall rotation.
Please kill Jinmu. He was, thank you. He was next to the Spark. Like there were 4 people from this, and he gets the res. All right, well, he's dead again. Okay, well, there it is. May just walls him off, and he didn't stand a chance. Nice little blizzard. Ordora has earned himself with that headshot. They're going to be able to control the payload rather easily at this point. Jimmy's going to have a lot harder of a time now to actually get back into this fight. Nice little, attempted drag off there. Also almost found himself on the floor. Godspeed, no, same thing. Just kind of stayed on the high ground. And there you go. Jimmy actually switching off the fire now. He's going to go to the May of his own. He's going to wall himself up, and they're going to just take the fight on the roofs, but it does mean that payload Hex is going to get a lot of free time here.
Yep, just Dragon comes through, tries to clear off that opposing rooftop. Hangzhou do have a defensive transcendence here. Maybe try to use it against this Flux, because Elsa's looking for targets.
He's attempting to. There you go. Spark have touched the payload. That's the main plan. There's the Flux. Up in the air goes Gushwei. Transcendence being used there, but he's going to get healed on up, and Godspeed finds a kill. Hushin will also end up taking out Yvetol. Yep, no way you're going to be able to fight this one at this point. It's just all about the cleanup now. A little bit of extra ult charge for Bebe and Adora. That's almost a blizzard for Jinmu. He's 50% then. He's got a little bit of way to go. Shouldn't be too hard. A couple of headshots will do it, but they're running into Spark with almost a 6 stack of ults as they do all share the lift.
Yeah, this is what you want to do on West Rail when you have the time like this. Is just take away the high ground, sitting behind 2 shields. The long distance rocket.
Oh, that hit 3 people. Oh my word.
Oh, that was a great animation.
I don't think I've seen so many people hit by a rock before. All right, lift up again, and a wall for the lazy. That's a big Flux. Oh dear, in the block. There's the Deadeye. Oh, hook, line, and sinker. Thank you for the kills. Just padding the stats. Leave just gets owned from afar. Nice hold from Spark.
I love the Sky Noon combo. Lift him up, shoot him down. Such good play. And there's not a ton to do about it. I mean, there's just you just get fluxed and you get shot down.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
That's it. There you go. Look at this. Unreal tech.
Oh, the
1,
halt 2,
2, 3. Boom. Bye-bye. Oh, it was so good. That would have been a third too if Jinmu didn't go into block. You got to give him to it, mate. Come on.
Yeah,
made a better highlight reel.
Yeah, the halt really sets that all up too. I mean, it's a mini ult.
Oh, that's the dragons. That's a beautiful. Oh no, Godspeed fell off. Oh, Immortality Field didn't quite save him. Nice double kill for the Zen. Ground Zenyatta, just 1v6ing right now, but no, there we go. Hunter's finally getting the payload moving. Jinmu's going to have this Blizzard too as well, but the Spark should be able to make it back in time. A couple of people didn't end up going down, and they got a Blizzard of their own.
I'm just looking at this Hunter support line. They've got a couple other different players who played last week, so I'm just wondering if everyone's really on their best hero right now. Eviltall you generally think of as a main support, but Zen look good there.
Pretty good. Clicking heads, not too bad at all. Leave going a little bit low. Has to take out Godspear, or at least one support to make this viable at this point. Jinmu, 5% away from his Blizzard. He's going to be running into Adora though. Banned Immortality Field has already gone down for Spark. This is the perfect time. He jumps right in, gets the freeze potentially, but no, a counter freeze. Jinmu and Adora laying the freezes up. Everybody's going to be frozen, stuck, but Jinmu ends up going down. Gushway's going to be able to put himself on the payload now to stop it from moving, and 40 seconds remain for the Hunters to try and make this work. Leave falling and Immortality going down, as well as Kyo. That should just be it for the time being. You have to die now, Among, otherwise it's going to be all over. 30 seconds remaining, and one push for the Hunters to try and make it to second.
And 3 ultimates here too for the Hunters compared to Sparks. Absolutely nothing. Well, there is a Flux, so maybe Sashin can get there and pull them out of position, get them off of the point. It's not about kills, it's about getting the objective. 15 seconds left. Flux, Supercharger, Eviltall. Amon's going to have a better Supercharger than he's had, well, all season so far.
Someone has to touch. Someone has to touch. Where's Lucio when you need him? He's using the Transcendence. He has to try and touch. Oh, he gets fluxed. Oh, it's disaster for the Hunters. The perfectly timed Flux and the wall to stop them touching the payload, and Spark with a speed run yet again. 2-0 in the series already.
Yeah, it's an objective-based game, and Hangzhou understands that. They did it on their offense on first point with the Grav holding people on the rooftop so they could push, and they do it again with their Flux to keep them off of the point. Hangzhou are looking very strong in every aspect of this, and just, God, this beautiful setup. Halt, Flux, Deda, you love to see it.
Just more of that, please. Well, maybe not for the Hunters. They're definitely not wishing that. I can tell you that right now. What do they got to do, really? That's the big question. I think we're going to jump to a quick break, though, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with the third map of the series.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network. And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is it, the official Overwatch League apparel. Designed by Staple, engineered for gamers.
against the Hunters. Map number 3 coming up soon. Spark doing a little bit of a speed run. Hex, where are we at?
Well, I mean, what in the
game break presented by Cheez It Grooves.
Cheez It Groove game break. Yeah, I kind of gotten tired of that, and it's been pretty one-sided. It's not really a ton to say about it, really. This Hangzhou Spark team, they played really well in last week's meta, and now, with Bazzi on the bench because Sombra's unable to be played, Gosby has come in, and I think I had Gosby as my Rookie of the Year for Season 2. Didn't quite play out that way because of the meta, but he's such an ace on the damage heroes here. Now let's switch it up a little bit, Jack. So it's crunch time. What do the Hunters have to do to get back into this one, in your opinion?
Well, play their own thing. But the problem is, I just don't see them really beating the Spark out in the 1v1s. I mean, we're having a little bit of Farah, Mercy, Among's played the Wrecking Ball just a little bit, but going on just the double shield, it just so much relies on your DPS actually finding picks and your Orisa and Sigma just working in tandem with each other. I just don't really feel like it's all there. I think the Spark just a little bit more of a well-oiled machine when it comes down to it, and their DPS are they're just popping more. They're just doing more damage. They're fragging a lot more too. I don't think these picks that the Hunters are actually picking up, like the Farah, are really going to do a whole lot against someone like Godsby, who's a bit of a superstar his scam player.
He's pretty good. He can definitely click the heads. I think you mentioned in the pregame that maybe the Hunters have become predictable in their unpredictability. You know that Jinmu is going to try to run the Farah, and I think what that allows is teams are just trying to go after the tank line until the tank line can respond and try to beat them. They're just really trying to isolate and go after the Chengdu front line, and Chengdu is kind of isolating themselves, a little social distancing from the tanks. They're trying to be away from the rest of their team, and they're getting cleaned up on it. This one, I mean, I don't see a world in which Chengdu comes back and wins this series, to be honest.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Like you said, one of the big things that you could do against the Farah, if Jimmy's going to play it, roll over the tanks, and then the Farah doesn't really have anything to really do. There's not really much you can do when the tanks aren't also getting the space that you're creating on the Farah. We're going to jump to a quick break, though, guys. Do not go anywhere. Map number 3 coming up soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch.
This is it, the official Overwatch League apparel. Designed by Staple, engineered for gamers.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX. Unleash your style, unleash your fury with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
What up, Familams? We are back. Map number 3 coming up soon. Hunters facing up against the Spark. That's getting late, Hex. I thought I'd bring out the old school introductions. Used to these back in the UK all the time. The 1 a.m. casts.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm reliving the whole experience all over again. It's feeling good.
It's about 5 hours past my bedtime. I'm just glad you didn't open up with hello all my cool cats and kittens, I believe it's saying.
Cool cats and kittens.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet. All right, don't worry about it.
Okay.
It is a phrase that will drive people nuts who know what I'm talking about. But that is neither here nor there. Right now, we've got a match that Hangzhou Spark is up 2-0 on the Chengdu Hunters. Chengdu riding a losing streak right now, unfortunately, as we enter into Hanamura. Now, Hanamura, I've always said this about it, it's a very difficult map to complete. In fact, the average score on Hanamura so far this season, 1.6 points. So, mostly not completing this map. It is the lowest scoring assault map in the 2020 Overwatch League season.
Well, it's because there's so much stall. Do you remember 6 Divas stall?
Yeah, it's the pinball machine.
People rolling out on Diva.
You shoot one ball in and then they die, and another ball in and then they die. Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
I remember the old
times.
days of Overwatch. I remember no hero limit. I've tried to block it out.
J-
My therapist says I
Hey.
should move on, but I can't let it go.
I was perusing. Perusing would be a good word. Perusing the subreddit the other day, the competitive Overwatch subreddit, and one of the new posts was this guy saying, "Oh, hey guys, like I've come back to Overwatch at a small break." I think he put small, some very minute amount of time, and he said, "Oh yeah, I saw there's a hero limit now," and I'm like, "You have been out. Where have you been? That has not been a small amount of time. A hero limit? Yes, there is a hero limit.
Wouldn't a
There is no more
minute-
double Lucio.
Wouldn't a minute amount of time be a minute? I mean, they're spelled the same.
Are they?
I guess it's too
Okay,
late.
I got a D in English. I am 99% sure my Korean spelling is better than my English spelling. I have
Yeah,
only
very
just
likely.
learned how to spell quarantine because I've had to type it so much. Well, enough about that. Spark are on the offense. Chengdu Hunters are on the defense. My goodness, I should not have said that on broadcast. Now everybody knows I'm a fool. Well,
right,
Godspeed is
so-
going to teleport out, or attempt to teleport out with the Symmetra, but it looks like going for a complete comm swap.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it and see what Chengdu had, and then if they felt comfortable with it, they were just going to put as much beef on the point as possible and just teleport in with double main tank. A full switch up here, though, as Godspeed knows that he has to deal with Jinmu. Shouldn't be a surprise. Leave on the 76 is interesting. Actually, I think Chengdu ran a little bit of 76 last week. They were one of the only teams in the region to do it.
Setting up a big crossfire here, it's going to be hard for Godspeed to actually really do anything. I mean, he can shoot away at the lever and the high ground, or he's going to leave Jinmu. Oh my goodness, Jinmu almost instantly died. Uh-oh. Oh, he missed his flash. Run. Leave's already got 2 kills, though. Sashin and Bebe do end up going down. He's going to sprint away, using the best ability in the game, legs. He's going to be able to get onto the high ground rather rapidly as well. And this is going to be the big issue here for Godspeed. He's going to have to deal with both Jinmu and Leave, who are holding opposite ends of the map currently. Already a minute burnt away in the time back as well. Adora trying to find a bit of space here, Hex, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think they're going to try to run with this again. Adora's doing a good job of just trying to get on the point, at least pull them back and draw attention a little bit so Godspeed can try to find an angle here. But yeah, God, Hanamura is so tough to break through on these.
Already?
And that's again,
Another
Bebe gets
pickoff.
picked off first.
Yeah. Bit disastrous. You might as well go again at this point. There you go, yeah. Everybody running away, using that speed boost to get out of there. But now they're running into ults. Obviously, the defending team will normally have ult advantage a little bit before because they're doing so much incoming damage. And as an offensive team, you have to put yourself in a bit more of a dangerous position to get ult charge. Jinmu has barrage. Leave just smacks Adora down. Another big stagger. Hunter's really coming alive, actually, in the second half of the series.
Yeah, it's looking good for them so far, but it is defense on Hanamura, so that's just generally an advantage no matter what. You're playing defense on Hanamura. This barrage ready to go, and if I'm Jinmu, I just unbind Q right now. You're doing so much work without it that a barrage is often just going to lead to a death, and that might make Eviltal try to go res him. Not a great idea. So,
Another entry.
That's
There's the
not bad.
barrage straight on top of the immortality field. I don't hate it. Didn't get any kills though. It did a little bit of damage and actually split one person off. I believe that's actually got to be in the back line. Not really where you want to be. Yeah, it is. So he's going to be stuck there for a little while, I can imagine. Adora still doing a lot of damage to Jinmu. He's trying to just run away and just poke and prod at him at the time just to make sure Yveltal has to stick on top of him. There's going to be a self... Pulse Bomb almost connecting. Levy's got that visor. Might want to combo it with the supercharger, but it doesn't look like he needed to. A lot of damage heading towards Gushue and Bebe. They end up going down. Jinmu with a double damage boost straight on top of Spark. And now only a minute remaining, Hex. Spark are in a very sore situation.
You know, I'm not a big fan of gatekeeping, and Jinmu is just not letting Gosby play the game. He's going to play in these team fights, and then he keeps looking back. Gosby's barely been able to get through the doorway this entire matchup. He's just getting rocket spammed out. Maybe Deadeye changes that.
You'd hope so, if you're a Spark fan right now. There's the Deadeye. He's going to get lifted up into the skies. That's a bad place to be! Oh, Elsa, you just contributed to your own death. That's basically him suiciding. At that point. Resurrection, though, Among is going to go down, which is going to be a problem. Elsa's going to have to be the 1-2 touch. Spark now on the point, 1 tick, make it 2. 18 seconds remaining as a Graviton Surge has been built up by Sashin. Now, we see Hunters just struggling to try and vie for space and time. Gosby does end up falling, but still 2 ticks have been acquired, and another healer ends up going down for the Hunters. Among is on the ball, but needs to find the boops. Now Spark in OT are going to lose another person, but they should be able to cap as I say that. Among does manage to get back in time. Mortality Field is going to come out and save him for the moment, but the Coalescence and the rest of the damage end up coming up big, and Spark eventually end up capping. 3 minutes now in the time bank, 2 attacks second.
I mean, you look at this Hangzhou team and you think of all the playmakers they have, but in my opinion, it's still just Sashin. He's able to get all the cleanup there on the Zarya, and the great thing is he's so patient. He had Grav the entire fight and never used it, even though it would just lock down the fight immediately. Maybe could have even grabbed the Mercy at one point in time when she got close to the architecture, but now they have a reasonable expectation to be able to push in with Grav, and Chengdu has switched several things, so... I mean, this doesn't look like it's great because there's only one ult up, but Hangzhou have the advantage, surprisingly.
Adora and Jinmu on the maze now. There's the grab straight on them all. Oh, Kyo just instantly evaporated. Oh my goodness, there go the rest of the team. The big shadow on the grab. You love to see it. There you go. On the point are the rest of the Spark. 2 ticks. And that is a dead Lucio. Only Leaf can really touch, and they don't. And there's the stats, looking strong. You said a point and a bit was the average currently. Spark getting 2 and 2 minutes in the time bank as well. Looking pretty good after what could have been a very disastrous round 1.
Yeah, I mean, Hangzhou last year when we were in the GOATS meta, I believe it was Godsby playing the Zarya for most of the time, and he had good games and he had disappearing acts, but right now the Zarya play that they're getting on Sashin has been great at watching their games from last week as well. He's just always there, he's doing damage, he's so patient, and that grab won them second point, because Chengdu had to expel everything they had to try to hold on to the point, and then they had to make a huge swap, because you really can't run that composition on second, and Hangzhou knows that. They go in, and, you know, let's use the one check mark we have. They get the cleanup there. Gushue swings away. And even though it took them a long time to break through first, they finally crack it open and just roll through second. And in my opinion, second is the much harder point to take.
Oh, yeah, easily. Easily. Well, now Chengdu Hunters have to one-up them. Otherwise, it will just be a clean 3-0 in the series. 2 minutes is a fairly respectable time back. Like you said, it's kind of hard to crack that second point. But a rather rapid Graviton Surge. I mean, that's what you ideally want to do, right? Stop the Hunters from setting up. You instantly grab them. It stops them really doing much. And then you just kind of roll over from there. Chuck all ults him.
Well, I mean, this
Jinmu's going to come out far.
If Chengdu doesn't get both points, which would exceed the average of the league, that's it. That's a 3-0.
Done and dusted. Okay, swaps. What are they going for? Jinmu? You need to decide. Oh, Doomfist. There are some sick rollouts. I don't know. I don't need to tell you how much time I've spent with Doomfist rollouts on this map. It's ridiculous.
I would
over the
wager
last few
too
weeks.
much.
Too much
right.
time has been spent. I got a lot of time, mate. I'm in quarantine.
The important thing is that we have a Genji on the field.
Oh, and he died! Oh! I was like, I cannot wait for these rollouts, man. These are going to be so sick. And he just rolls out into a flashbang. Oh, Godsby. No, he's good. Liam almost killed him, but he's fine for the time being.
Look at this composition, though. Only the Hunters Doomfist, Genji, Ball, Winston,
Super
Moira,
dive.
Lucio. I mean, but there's good tools for Hangzhou to be able to deal with this, essentially. I mean, you've got Flashbang. Mei is just good anti-dive anyway. She turns herself into an ice cube. But 3 minutes to go. We'll see if they can build up ultimates. I mean, Genji's not all that great without his ultimate, and he's not going to get nanoed here either, so a lot on Lee's shoulders to try to make this Genji work. Not been a ton of great Genji plays so far this year.
There is a rollout you can do on that roof, by the way, where Jinmu was. Not sure if he's actually going to do it. He's on the roof right now. I can see the pellets coming in. Bebe and Lee do end up trading. That is actually extremely good for the Hunters, as one healer is now down. They have to rely on the Lucio. Osa just gets annihilated in that corridor. Aiming's going to get frozen as well. Oh, the flashbang was so good. But Godsby, he's just doing Godsby things. A clean up onto 2, the high noon as well. A bit more of a swag ult than anything else, I must say so myself. And Hunters are going to get chased to the Spark spawn. There goes Jinmu. He's going to go down. And 2 minutes off the time bank. That does mean they haven't got much time left if you can do math. Luckily, I got a B in maths. A D in English, but B in maths. You can see how my brain works.
Pretty much the opposite for me. So we're complementary in that aspect of it.
Thank goodness.
It opened up really well for Chengdu. They got an opening kill on the main healer, but there's now 2 support ultimates for Hangzhou here, so Chengdu's going to try to use ultimates.
Look at this pocket onto Godsby. Oh my goodness, if there's a rank game, you'd be commendations all round for the supports. Godsby gets a Coalescence used solely on him. Blade is available, though, for Leave, and the Coalescence for the Hunters, but Elsa gets instantly picked off. Spark have to wait this out, but decide not to as the beat comes through. Elsa falling is going to be rather disastrous. They won't be able to create much space. Leave using the Blade, but it's more of a toothpick than anything else as the Shad gets laid down, killing him off. And that's the Hunters claiming 2 ticks, but not much else. At least they kill Godsby in the end as Jinmu used the Meteor Strike onto the point. Has to get out of it, though, as the rest of the Spark are going to corral on his position. He is very low at this point. He gets grabbed as well. Oh, the Doof is not working out too well for the Hunters. Adora's going to keep himself alive on the point as 60 seconds now remains for them to break this first point.
Super chaotic. Bebe's going to try to stay alive. Coalescence coming in as well, trying to buy time for his team to get back into it. Does seem like his fight's going to happen on the point. No ultimates on the table for either side.
Well, Godsby's over there on the Tracer now, is going to be able to do a little summon. K-Mong needs to use these mines. I got to think that's the only ult that's really going to save them. The Ice Wall is going to block him off. He goes almost indestructible, manages to get out of the freeze just in time, but Jinmu ends up going down. The Blade is kind of close to being ready, but there's no real other tools for the Hunters to use. They've only got 20 seconds remaining. A Coalescence is going to get blocked off by the wall, and this could just be their run over. Spark have never lost the Hunters, and it looks like the tale for the Hunters isn't going to end in a victory today. The Blade nowhere near to be ready. The mines, the beat. They have to make something work now. OT is coming in. Amon lets out the mines. The Blade is good. Can't get the last dash on the Coalescence. And he ends up getting taken down by it. It's surely all over now as Jinmu ends up taking out IDK, but manages to kick up Sashin as well. This could just be it, but the long-range pin from Gushue. Another OT take, potentially, as Godsby ends up falling as well.
That's a keyboard-breaking kind of pin right there. Chengdu is able to finally pick up the first point. They have 2:51 on the clock. If they get it on first cap, then we're going to be tied up with about 2 minutes in the bank. Only Primal Rage and a Coalescence ready for Chengdu going through. On the other side of things, we're going to have a Blizzard and a Shatter. A lot of space controlling ultimates for the Hangzhou Spark.
How do they engage? There you go, that's how they engage. There's the slam on top of the side. Oh, Gushue, got to be careful. He's got that Shatter. Coalescence coming out. Blizzard 2. Adora's clearing everybody off the point. Elsa falls once again. There's the big freeze into the double onto the ball. He can't do anything. Amon ends up going down. Jinmu, well, he's using him. Oh, goodbye. Well, see. Oh, he got the boot. Oh, my goodness. That's some free ult charge for the Lucio right there. Jinmu sending himself off the map, but the boop in the end end up taking him out. Now the Hunters changing up their comp.
Yeah, they have to.
Kree and the Mei.
Yeah, but that means there's a whole lot of single digits in the ultimate charge for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Meanwhile, Hangzhou's tanks have still held on to theirs. Really good control of the economy, just using the Blizzard to win that fight. And that's all you need on the defense. You just need one kill. Setting up for the flank shatter.
They don't. Oh, no! Wait, what? Adora, what are you doing? That would have been a sick shatter. Graviton Surge is still pretty good though, and Gushue will earn himself another one if he's so inclined to. Does get frozen up, so Adora takes the kills. You know, teamwork and all that. Hunters do end up getting completely wiped as Spark use a couple of tankers, but they still got another shot coming online rather quick.
I think Adora knows that Blizzard was probably play of the game so far, and he's just not gonna give
he's
it
like,
up.
nope.
Not going to give it up. Oh, we still have Coalescence Fuse in this, and you know, Shatter is pretty much right back to where it was. 85% for Gushue and a Shatter again. That's unfair.
It was the plan all along, we'll say. 60 seconds remains though. They got to be careful. Almost a minimum of a draw if they're not careful. Hunters still need to cap, of course. Uh-oh. Now Gushue has the Shatter. Adora's in the front line as well. Beat's going to do a whole bunch, but that Shatter sending a lot of people down to their knees. And oh no! Couldn't even get the Immortality to save his life. Bebe will end up taking down 2, and I think this is just going to be it. Hunters, I'm not sure they can actually win this game now. 30 seconds remaining, and the stalls will be just a godsend for Spark at this point on the defense. 25 seconds remain, 0 tick for the Hunters. They have the Lucio to get back in time, and they've got a couple of ults, but they just need someone to touch.
It's the last gasp, but you'd imagine they try to set up top here and get KO to go through the amplification matrix, but Hangzhou with these great defensive ultimates, they've got Dead-Eye, they can just kind of use it to lock it down, and then if that fails, you can still just Blizzard the points. Chengdu last gasp.
High Noon, ward off, Blizzard comes out, Jinmu dead, OT is gonna be here, but so are the kills, double flashbang, a melee from Godsby. There we go, the Spark with a clean 3-0. Hunters not quite taking the W, and Spark continuing their win streak against them.
This was the Godsby we were promised at the beginning of Season 2, and if you don't know who Godsby was supposed to be, you better ask somebody, because that's what you just saw right there. A god-tier damage dealer, and when the meta favors him, you better watch out. The McCree was amazing the entire time. A lot of fanning the hammer, but whatever gets the job done. He took his vengeance out. He got so isolated on the very first attack, and then just gets a little bit of the assistance right there from Elsa as he signs his own death certificate.
Yeah, that was, I bet Elsa regretted that. It was like, wait, there's a High Noon? Well, I better not ult. And it was already happening, unfortunately. I think it was a situation where they clicked Q at the same time. Surprise, surprise, though, Godsby will be our player of the match.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought it? The Kree was on fire the entire series.
Well, we hinted at it. Well, I just might as well make it official here. Look, I'd struggle a little bit there on the opening, but that's just the angles that you have to play on that map. Hangzhou Spark looked like a very clean team. The Hunters looks discombobulated, uncoordinated, several different sort of aideds right there. They got to figure that one out. So far, the meta does not seem to suit them as it is, and the tank line, it needs a little work. It did not look good. They got isolated a lot of times, and when one part of your team falls apart, like your tank line, your support line, or your damage line, you're in trouble, and I think Hangzhou did a really good job of exploiting that today.
Yeah, especially when it comes to double shields. Your tank line has to be on the same page, otherwise you're just going to get run over in the neutral. I mean, sometimes, yeah, a little bit hard to actually run up against Gushue. He's probably one of the best tanks in the league, hands down. He performed incredibly for Team China in the World Cup last year, and you can see why he is in the league right now. They're doing pretty well for themselves thus far.
And the great thing about Hangzhou, if you're looking forward, if you're a big Spark fan, I know a lot of people have the skins and the jerseys. I have a Hex Spark jersey in my closet right now because it's pink and it's beautiful. But the nice thing is they've got a really deep bench too. So in this hero pool meta and the year that we're in for Overwatch League, like Godsby didn't even play last week because they were just running Reaper and Sombra, and Bazzi's a really good Sombra. Like the depth that this team has didn't really get to shine in Season 2 of Overwatch League because we just kind of had a different format and everyone played the exact same thing for 3 stages. But now that it's going to change every week, they're in a good spot here. And, it starts with beating the teams in your division, the teams you're up against, and looks good for them. Still undefeated against the Hunters.
Yeah, they're feeling pretty good with themselves. A clean 3-0 against the Hunters. We've got the Titans, though, coming up against the Charge in just a moment, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back for a quick break.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
This is it, the official Overwatch League apparel. Designed by Staple, engineered for gamers.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by ZipChair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League, and by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Hey guys, welcome back. Titans facing up against the Charge in just a short moment. My name is Jaws, of course joined by Hex. If you didn't just watch that last game, you probably should. Spark took down the Hunters. Oh, I just spoiled it for you. My bad. Anyway, it was a good series.
It was not.
Free.
No, it wasn't.
We can't do spoiler free straight after the series.
It's apparently, if you're wearing
I
pink,
guess
it
we
was a
can.
great series. If you're a fan of the yellow, not so much. A little bit difficult
How is
to
that
watch.
any less spoiler free than me saying Spark take down the Hunters?
You already spoiled it. I can't, like.
I guess.
Whatever, it's too late. Also, I mean, this Vancouver team is playing. Who? Vancouver's still in the league? They haven't played in 2 months.
Vancouver who?
The last time they played was February 8th. That is more than 2 months ago.
Well, as a wise man once said, they went to Korea. They're currently based in Korea, so they can play the Korean teams and the Chinese team. So they're facing up against the Charge. Well, yeah, but we haven't seen them in a long time. It's been a long time since we've seen the Titans, and I'm excited they're back on our screens. They were one of my favorite teams coming into the season and just coming into the league as a whole as well. Of course, a lot of them ex-runaway roster, and of course they have one of the most famous Korean players on their roster now as well in the 2020 season. That's Jaehong.
Dude, this roster is ridiculous. I was just looking at it earlier today, and like, I guess it dawned on me because I hadn't seen them since February 8th. But like you've got the squad, right? The homies, the runaway squad. You know, Bumper's not around, but then you just imagine you take the core of this team who only lost 3 games so far in their Overwatch League existence, and then you add Jaehong and Fissure. Like that doesn't seem fair. That seems like this. If you would have said that like some Overwatch League fantasy thread, people would be like, "That's ridiculous. That's not going to happen. You can't just add Jaehong and Fissure to this Titans squad. That's not fair." It's exactly what they've done. It's ridiculous.
It is actually insane, and I'll give a sharp warning to anybody that kind of contradicted me a little bit before the season started and said,
Calling
no,
out
Titans aren't going to do well. Fissure on the team, he's going to leave at some point. No, look what happens. What's happening right now. Look, okay? Fissure is one of the best main tanks I think we've had in the league so far. Putting him on a squad like, I was going to call them Runaway almost there. Whoops. Titans is just insane. And like you said, Jaehong as well, the leadership role coming in absolutely massive. There's not really much that you can point out as a flaw. If Fissure did end up leaving the team during the halfway through the season, yes, it might be a bit of a problem, but right now in the very present, they are a ridiculous team that's going to be very hard to take down, even if you have some insane players on your roster like Charge do in people like Happy.
Well, Happy's my boy. I've been pumping up Happy forever. I think he's the cleanest, most natural Widowmaker that we have in the league. Like I said, his target acquisition's great. He also leads the league a lot in a lot of these Hangzhou categories as well. We might see some Hangzhou coming in. Nero will be his counterpart on DPS. Rio and Krong. Neptuno has taken a starting role on this team as well, former Philadelphia support. And then Shu has been a consistent support for this squad as well. So the Charge have some players, but it's very much like Hangzhou with the hero pools changed. Last week, Guangzhou played only Reaper and only Sombra for the most part, like on the entire time. So now Happy gets to come in. Can he do what Godspeed did? Now that he's going to pick up the hit scan role, and yeah, I would tend to favor Vancouver, but they looked beatable in their first couple of games 2 months ago on February 8th when they played, I believe, both Los Angeles teams, the Valiant and the Gladiators. But now they have to play the Charge. The Charge have been playing a lot more recently, but this Titans team, just so much talent on it, it's hard to overlook them.
They're absolutely dominating. But it has been a little while, and that's a little while, 2 months. That's a long time, especially in esports, right? And especially for a team that's regularly competing in the Overwatch League, for example. Yeah. Getting, like, obviously not stage time, but real official matches under your belt, that's a lot of reps, and missing out on those reps can diminish your gains just a little bit. We're going to go on to Nepal. As we saw a little bit earlier on, same map pool, of course. Titans over on the left, and we have Charge over on the right. Now, what do they run? That is the question. Because we are seeing a lot more double shield. I can imagine we're going to see the same sort of thing here. Stitch is a mean soldier, though.
Interestingly enough, Titans not running the 2019 Rookie of the Year in Haksal. Siomansu will come in for instead, playing damage. Was relegated mostly to the Zarya role last year. Fissure is going to play Winston for it. Fissure by way of London, Los Angeles, and Seoul, now on his 4th team in the Overwatch League. So, yeah, I mean, there is still a question mark about him. He's done it to himself.
Yeah.
But when he plays well, like there's a reason that teams keep picking him up, because the talent is absolutely undeniable.
Bit of a dive coming through from Tyrants. Oh, Sominsu's Doomfist. It's one of the maps I haven't actually practiced rollouts on, unfortunately. I don't know many diagonal punches on this map.
Keep us updated on your Doomfist rollout.
You know what?
Regimen.
Actually, I'm going to. Every single map, I'm going to break. In fact, we're going to ignore the game. I'm just going to break down Doomfist rollouts in every single map, huh? And we'll make the observers fly through them. No, we won't. That's a lie. Point's going to get unlocked rather quick sharp. Rogue's playing so passive here, but kind of has to as Jimmy just launches himself at the back line. Speaking of launching, Happy launches himself all the way back to spawn. Point unlocks. That'll be Titans on it as Sominsu finds first blood. Now the Titans can just play a little bit more passive, just wait for the Charge to make a move, because, hey, we don't really have to do anything until you come into our territory.
Happy switches off of the McCree instantly. I guess one death was enough for him on that. He's going to go over to the Tracer instead. Firm control for the Titans on this point, though, as they look to dive again. Fissure safe, and Rio not.
Yeah. No mobility versus mobility here. Although, Janu does end up going down. Twilight is not that vulnerable, apart from Happy potentially finding the one clear, but he's going to go after Jaehong instead. Good start for the Charge. Neptuno also has that window, as well as Happy actually just contesting the point currently. Fisher gets frozen up, a free flip for the Charge. And now, Charge can do what they do best with this composition and just set up near the point or near a choke. Stitch is also going to go down as Happy from afar does do 1 damage and finishes off Janu and adds a point to his stat.
Yeah, very nice for them, and now Guangzhou's in a really decent spot. They give up the first point, but now they've got really nice ultimates to work with, and more importantly, they've got the Mei. Mei on control, as we've mentioned, can be very good. On Nepal in particular with the wall, but on this stage you can just drop the Blizzard on the point. Not a whole lot for Vancouver to be able to stop it. Really not shieldings, there's no D-Matrix, obviously, because Diva's out of the pool this week. Stitch and Happy going to take this 1v1.
Not so much of 1v1 now.
Yeah, just chilling.
Unfortunately. Oh dear, that's a right click. Goodbye. Goodbye, Stitch. Happy's now can take this duel rather freely. Nice little boulder there, actually signaling Fisher's death as Happy is just on an absolute tear. Does melee the wall, but that was very close. Somansu almost went down as well.
How is your caster curse that strong that you make him miss a blink melee? That's impressive.
Oh my word. That wasn't even me. That was me saying it at the same time. How can I curse him within the same frame?
I don't know your wizardry. Don't ask me.
I don't think that's how it works.
A great spot here for Guangzhou. A ton of ultimates, and they've got stair control here. They try to come over the edge. Rio can just yoink them into the pit. So far, this dive has not been able to find a good target.
That was disastrous from Janu there. He tried to go through the doorway, but got stuck. Didn't quite find the full momentum. Point does get flipped though, but Zhang and Fisher are already dead. Transcendence on the point to try and contest for a little bit longer, but the issue is now Charge going to be on it with a couple of ults for themselves. Krong has got the Flux. Somansu finds one. There's the Flux on the Meteor Strike. Goodbye, Tracer, as she gets slammed down into the earth. Neptuno's going to find himself rather safe and well with the Transcendence hugging him to full life, and Shu taking out Twilight, and now the Titans have to get back as 10% before Charge take the map.
Yeah, Vancouver tossed a lot in there too. Fisher had hit Primal Rage, he got froze up. Twilight get the Transcendence, try to keep them in it, but now Guangzhou is 1 fight away with a Pulse Bomb upcoming for Happy. That is pretty much the only ultimate on the field for either side. They're jump in here.
A beautiful defensive ball there coming through. Yeah, Nero's just walling them all off. Happy has got Pulse Bomb. Has to go for that big recall though. Has to play a little bit more passive, although I say that he's just running into the might as well. Pulse Bomb straight onto the ball. Janu ends up going down, but takes Rio with him. Not bad at all, and Chu also ends up falling, and now Charge getting dissected in the back line. Somansu coming up big with a kill onto Krong. Neptuno's going to go down as well. Triple kill for the Doom. Now Mei popping into the block, punch into the wall. See you later, Nero. As Titans end up regaining control. 99% for the Charge, though.
What a hero play, and that's just what Doomfist allows you to do. If you need 1 kill, he might get you 3. If you need 3 kills, he might get you, well, -1 when he dies and tries to go in for it. Interestingly enough, we've got some hog on the field. Some halt and hook, some pulled pork. It's a really good point for it. Krong on the Roadhog. Sanctum is a very good spot to try to just drop people in the pit with this single ability.
This composition, though, does take a little bit of time to set up. Nero going down, though, is disastrous. He was 10% away from that Blizzard. Punch in from Somansu. Meteor Strike available. Pulse Bomb's big. Damage is huge. Titans are 10% away now from claiming this round. Janu finds 2 as well in Krong and Shu. This should just be it. Not entirely sure who can actually touch as Happy is now dead. 99% ticks on over. The Titans are going to claim Sanctum on what looks like an almost impossible retake with Nero with 10% away, but they found the perfect pick in the Mei, and it ended it all for them.
Just enormous clutch play from Somansu. Another damage player who last year was mostly on the Zarya when we saw him play, but the pocket pick of the Doomfist must be coming in. That's probably maybe why Haxall is on the bench. And yeah, but that one was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Guangzhou did such a good job early on of staying together and catching the dive in and isolating them off. When Fisher would come in, they would just put a wall behind him and freeze him and get these kills, and the dive wasn't coming from everywhere. Really interesting play. Happy did his best to try to carry on Tracer. Did not happen. Are we going to see Guangzhou go for the Roadhog again? Yes, I'm loving it.
All right, a few more flank routes on this map, though, for someone like Somansu and Stitch. Control this Mega Pack rather well if you're the Tracer, although it doesn't really need much controlling, as Charge have got a more static comp apart from Happy. who's going to get perma armor packed as well, so he shouldn't lose the Tracer 1v1. Although Jaehong, of course, on the other side could do the same for Stitch. Point presence for the Charge, though.
Who would have thought Brig and Tracer would become best friends? I never saw it coming. Shit, Brig was named the Tracer Eraser for a while.
Tracer? Oh my goodness. Well, as you know, says fare thee well to the rest of the team. Janu is I'm going to go down though, but now you can just kind of sit on the point. If you're Sominsu, you can just punch in and out, in and out, in and out. No one can chase you up and actually find the kill, though Happy does find Stitch. He goes in once more, and is going to go out once again. But the big hook, that's what you want to see. The Halt hook straight into the Roadhog, and Nero finds 2 kills. Charge now on the point, gaining control.
Yeah, I mean, you think about McCree being anti-dive, but Roadhog's got a really good anti-dive in him as well. The hook, and it's also more sustainability, so even when you do stun him, you can finish him off, and if you're in trouble, you can actually help yourself out. So they've responded with this huge dive comp for the Vancouver Titans by keeping Happy on Tracer, and he's doing very well to harass the backline. He's gotten Jaehong a couple times. And yeah, there's another one, Pulse Bomb on Twilight. Later, dog.
Not bad whatsoever. Oh, oh, he got erased. That's a worthwhile trade, though, if I do say so myself. Meteor Strike's going to come down as Sominsu finds himself in the 1v1. Doom versus Brig, but the Coalescence at the Brig's back. Pulse Bomb's going to finish off Neptuno as Krong unleashes the whole hog, pushing all the DPS away, straight into Nero's freeze. Sominsu ends up falling, but still Charge are going to be fairly hard to actually get off this point hex. Unless Stitch has something to say about it. A nice little 2-piece to round off this fight as Shu and Rio end up going down and Titans find the flip.
47% now for the Guangzhou Charge, and not a whole lot on the board, although the big difference in these compositions is going to be the Mei versus the Doomfist, and Mei's going to be able to lock down this point. Actually, there's a ton of differences in this composition. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's getting late still. But yeah, you can just walk in here. Yeah, can't really peek that Nero because that happens.
Oh my goodness, so much just happened there. I'm not entirely sure what went down, but Sominsu got out alive. That's a big thumbs up from me. Charge now moving on to the point with that supercharger. Have got the Blizzard at their backs as well. You can see how scared now Titans are playing from around the point. Twilight's going to use the Transcendence to push everybody forwards, force people away, and now the Blizzard is going to be a threat to the Titans' defense here on this point. Coalescence again, getting LOS'd by the rest of Vancouver. A Stitch still trying to find an entrance. Krong getting a little bit bullied, but Sominsu ends up caking out Shu. Almost the perfect pick, but both tanks are already dead, and the rally being sent out by Charge as well. Everybody not really afraid of matching up against the Doomfist now. Sominsu has got the Meteor Strike, but can't really do much with it. Stitch, a little bit worse for wear, is going to go fairly low, and Sominsu ends up going down. Should be a rather clean fight now for the Charge, but Titans are still going to make them pay for it. Jumping back on the point with the ball, and Fisher stalling for a bit of extra time. Jimu eventually finished off, but a free 10% or so is not going to be too bad for the Titans.
Yeah, you'd think in a different composition that if you lose both tanks, then that fight's just over, but the Vancouver Titans are not running this static composition, so they've got people just hanging out behind pillars and flanking in and out. Gets them so much percentage. Pulse Bomb doesn't connect.
That was almost so sick. Worst thing, though, about going up on that high ground, you almost give away the point for free there. Half a capture percent as Krong ends up taking out Sominsu in the thick of it all. Still trying to fight these 2v3s, or these 2v4s even, up on the high ground. As Fisher ends up falling as well. You cannot let this happen at this point in the map hex. 20% away. A Charge from evening up the map.
Yeah, but there's a whole lot of 90 pluses counting up now for the Vancouver Titans. Worst comes to worst, Fisher can stall this out with Primal Rage, the minefield for Janu onto the point, and then Jaehong going to have Rally, another Pulse Bomb. Meanwhile, the cupboard is nearly empty for the Charge. Maybe you get Supercharger. Supercharger and Coalescence is still a really good combo.
There's the mines, there's the slam. Straight onto Nero. They have to take him out. Sominsu recognizes that as well. Happy finds the one click. There's the pulse straight out of the block. Nero again going down in the critical moment of this fight. They need to get back to the point, and he needs to be able to build out of Blizzard. Point gets flipped. Titans in control. They're all going pretty low, but Jaehong using that rally armor in the front line and healing everybody up. But Happy once again trying to carry this fight solo, finding the pulse bomb onto Fisher, chasing down the second tank as well as that supercharger gets laid down as Charge find the flip. 99% and OT now ticking through. As Vancouver try and find their way onto the point. A one shot onto Stitch is going to be enough to take him out. And now every Q button has been hit by the charge. This should just be it. Happy falling and Fisher creating space, but is it actually going to be enough? I think it might be. Fisher finds 2, Neptuno goes down, and Vancouver not out of this just yet.
He got 2, and there's almost no damage for the follow-up here. Happy's been out of the fight. Krong's going to have to do the damage. Jaehong will go down. It is chaos.
The damage is going to come through, though. The coalescence is there, but Fisher finds his 3rd kill of the fight and still alive somehow. Nero used the blizzard so early on, and now he's going to go down once more. Happy, the only person in the kill feed for the Charge right now, takes out Twilight, but the point has been flipped, and Charge need to touch. Rio is there, and so is Happy. A meteor strike to do some damage, but Sominsu puts himself in such a risky position, and he gets taken down in the end. The scrappiness continues as the point gets flipped once more as Charger now control.
Happy is all over the place. He's trying to bring it back. The pulse one's going to hit Rio, but right now it seems like the Charger pulled it back a whole hog on the point there, Jaws.
They're pushing everybody off. OT is going to disappear so quickly, and they eventually do it. 2-3 flips, I think that was, for both the Charge and the Titans on 99%. Just ridiculous. Happy and Fisher trying their utmost to keep their teams in the fight and in the map. One apiece, though, as we do round this one out on Village.
And you have to respect the dedication, I guess, from Vancouver to be running a ball into a Brigida, a Roadhog, and an Orisa. Happy chased him down constantly, and also a Mei. Like, really? If Happy was playing McCree, I guess it could get a little bit worse if you're Janu, but Janu somehow still got a lot of work done. Happy chased everyone down, though. 29 eliminations for Happy, 15 final blows for him. Leads the server by a large margin. Actually, Krong right behind him at 12 final blows, so the Charge know where their bread is buttered.
Well, he came out of nowhere. Well, and he disappeared as well. There you go. Bye-bye, Janu.
Look at that kill feed. All of them in on it.
Wall freeze and a whole lot of everything else as well. Wild on top. Yeah, you better run, Jaehong. Not sure you're going to survive that. Oh, he does. Just about. Happy looking for the assassination, though. Look at that ult charge, by the way. On Happy already. Almost 80% after the first fight. That is some ridiculous ult gain. I'm not surprised why he's such a fan favorite. A fan of yours. Well, you're a fan of his as well.
He's my boy. I love Happy. I've been pumping him up forever. I just can't wait till we get a Widow meta.
It's going to look pretty good. So Sominsu's Doomfist right now. Looking for a brief engagement. Fisher B-hopping to the back line. He's going to get stuck though. 10 HP. There you go. Instantly disappears. And there you go. That's what a Pulse Bomb can do to your tanks at the front line. Don't always have to stick the DPS or supports, mind you. I'm looking at you, Tracers and Solar Q. Don't hold on to your Pulse Bomb forever. You can stick the tanks, chunk them down, and the rest of the team can finish them off. As Happy harasses Fisher in his spawn.
I mean, Happy's also been all over Twilight, too, and he's just getting it with single kills in the back line. Twilight has died 7 times, actually one of the lowest amounts for his team. But right now, Guangzhou in firm control. They're going to have a Coalescence and the other support ultimate. Rally is up for Neptuno, and they continue to run this exact same composition, the Titans. And it just seems like it's super hard countered right now. They're being stubborn.
They are being very stubborn. Twilight has almost got the Transcendence, but Nero is nearing that Blizzard. Not always the best tool to try and stop that. That was a beautiful boop. Stopped Somitsu from actually getting hooked. A lot of Coalescence damage coming through as well. On top of every member from the Titans. Yeah, Twilight, you don't stand a chance, my son. It's the rest of Titans going down, and 70% now building up for the Charge. This is a very different story from what we saw previously, but it's just coming down to map geometry, Hex.
I mean, it is, and it's also just coming down to just straight-out damage output. 59 eliminations for Guangzhou, 26 for Vancouver. Just not going to win those.
You ain't going to win those. You might not win this one either. You have to take out Nero. That has been their key to success, especially on the first map of Nepal. Stick might do it, though. Has got Oh, Stitch is stuck in the ceiling. Well, Transcendence is going to save him. Save Janu as well. Yep. Supercharger coming out, though, right at the very end. Janu manages to escape alive, but Fisher does not. Jumps in with a Primal Rage, instantly killed off with a whole hog. And that'll be a Pulse Bomb onto Jaehong. This looks as good as over for the Charge. They're going to roll through the Titans. Completely outmatched. OT disappears. And Titans hope of taking this map as well. The Charge will end up taking Nepal.
Just calm oppositional win there, perhaps. Krong comes in. I mean, how much more CC do you want to try to shut down a Wrecking Ball there? Just super nice play, and then Happy just had a game and a half. I thought we were going to see it on the McCree because he is a hit scan god, but that Tracer looked really, really clean. He was all over the place, finishing everything. And yeah, I mean, it's really hard to be this right about players so often, Jaws. I mean, you may not know.
Unbelievable.
It's almost difficult.
That's such a big burden on your shoulder, Tex. I just can't imagine living your life being correct all the time, to be honest. It's nothing to do with the brig and impermapunting Happy.
When it comes down to it, man, I admire him. I want to be Happy in so many different ways.
Hey, man, we'll temper your ego a little bit in this break, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this one.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network. And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Legend of Soulguard. Download now.
Welcome back. This is the Titans facing off against the Charge. We just saw a rather close Nepal, apart from that last map of Village. 100% to 0 for the Charge, looking pretty good for them. And like you said in the, I think, second to last of the last team fight, Hex, a little bit of stubbornness, it feels like, coming out from the Titans, refusing to change the comp when they're running into so much CC coming out from the Charge.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it in the very first kill of the final stage there. Jinwoo jumps in, and 5 people end up in the kill feed for the Charge because he gets bashed. He gets froze, there's a wall, and then he gets hooked, and you're just not getting anything done. I don't know, maybe it's... I got them to use all their abilities, guys, go in. That's not really the trade you want to make, and it just seemed like he was being hard countered at every point. Maybe Jaehong wasn't with Twilight as often as he should have been either, because it seemed like Happy was just running game on him, and he also got Jaehong a couple times. I'm interested to see if this is a strategy that the Vancouver Titans are just going to roll with as we go through Eichenwald. Most of the time, teams will have a different strategy on control maps versus every other map. So you just forget that one, you move on. Look, Guangzhou's not a bad team. They're 2-2, and they played the Spark really close last week. They went to 5 against the Spark, and it could have gone either way. It went to round 3 of the last control map in 5, and we just saw how good the Spark looked against the Hunters. You know, it's kind of hard to compare because not every team has played every team. We're still early in the Overwatch year, but this Charge team is legit. They've got a lot of talent, and I've been really impressed with Krong. It's a guy who used to, play a lot of different heroes, comes up on the Roadhog, which we haven't seen a ton of this year, and gets a lot of work done. So it's been really nice.
Yeah, one of those big things in the time he did put in, just controlling Fisher, basically, who was on the Winston. I mean, Fisher's Winston is pretty damn strong, but if you go up against a Hog, you have to play a little bit more passive some of the time, or, trying to attempt to assassinate the backline. Hog is just so good at dealing with those dives, easy hitbox to hit as well with your hook, and, well, you saw it when Fisher used the Primal Rage in Village, you just get isolated and owned, so...
Well, everything I said about Fissure, or Jinwoo, could also apply to Fissure there, too. I mean, the Winston's not going to do great against that comp either, and he would jump in, and he's dancing in and out of the bubble, but it was generally Krong waiting inside the bubble to just throw shotgun rounds in his face. It just didn't work out. Nero comes out on the Widow Peak. Let's see what composition the offense actually wants to run here.
Yeah, Nero is going to match Soman Su on the Mei. Let's see Hangzhou versus the Kree, though. Same comp other than that.
Yeah, well, that's because Happy's Hangzhou leads the league in final blows to death ratios, and he's second in both solo kills and critical hit accuracies. His Hangzhou crushes.
Hey man, whatever you want to play, Happy, you just play whatever, dude.
Whatever makes you happy.
That'll be me as a coach. Happy, just do whatever makes you happy, dude. Like, you just click heads. That's fine by me. You're going to do great regardless. They're going to get ward off, almost isolated here. They've got to be a little bit more careful than that. But Vancouver Titans are just going to make their way back to the point.
Just kind of playing around here. They do have the double shield on both sides of these things, so Happy with a really good shield break as well with Storm Arrow. Going to be able to crack some of those, just trying to find the angles here. You don't have to worry about getting walled off. That's exactly what happens. Counter wall.
Yeah, double wall though, so it should be fine. Yeah, he's good. He's going to get out alive. His comps do take a long time to set up though, in their positioning, so it's not going to be great for the charge. Nice little wall from Sominsu once again. Counter walled off. The Nero's in the side. He should be fine though as the shields do come raining in. Although you're going to have to eat some of that damage. There you go. Jinmu does end up eating quite a lot of that, but the window does get unleashed by Jaehong. A lot more healing than Neptuno has done. Neptuno nearing his window. That Amazure is going to do a lot of work, but not at that angle. In fact, it's not getting a whole bunch done here to the people that are trying to flank. Now Neptuno uses one of his own, and yeah, a little bit better position there on the point, in fact, to chase away Jinmu. Perfectly corralled into that small corridor. A Dragon Strike didn't do all too much, but Happy and Twilight end up trading. As I say that, a couple more kills come through, and now Rio isolated on the point as the Blizzard is launched in. Janu didn't really have much to say about that one, unfortunately, and this should be a rather easy roll now for the Charge, as the tanks from Vancouver do end up just getting rolled. Even, just, you know what, just throw everything in. You know what? It's 5v3, just throw everything in. We're going to get the point anyway.
Well, and it was 4v4 because actually those were the first kills that happened. There were a quick volley of trades. 2 went down on both sides. But it was Nero who stayed alive with this Blizzard while Sominsu was dead. You see Sominsu was going to have his Blizzard for the next one. But it's because Nero was alive and they were able to get the Blizzard on the point. And obviously the control that you have with Mei as a map editor, be able to toss up walls in here, that was really the giant difference. The silver lining for the Titans, though, is that they will have ult advantage for this next fight.
And they will, and Johnny is on the high ground. He is going to get flanked. Has to be a little bit more careful. There you go. Bam. Up. Rock misses. A lot of damage incoming. Another rock coming out. Oh, the freeze onto Krong, but Immortality Field saves him. Neptuno is going to go down, though. Twilight does manage to find the pick. Sominsu finds Krong also. Immortality Field is going to save him as well. Twilight finds yet another one in this fight. Not too bad at all. Nero just sinks to the depths of the moat for the castle, and Titans are going to be able to hold this door what you'd think would be quite easily at this point, Hex.
Well, they didn't use everything there. I mean, they used the Flux and ends up getting a lot of abilities used out of Guangzhou, and then they toss in their Blizzard, but that's going to put them behind on the next Blizzard, so Nero's going to be at 80% and charging up. Although the Titans, you know, with his defensive position, they could always just hold around this corner, drop a Supercharger, and try to shut down anything.
Oh, no, they know. Isolated. They're not going to be able to do all too much. Nero's so close to that Blizzard. Trying to take a fair bit of damage.
The final icicles to try to get it together.
Should be able to get it. Oh, my goodness, that was a lot of damage. That was a halt, and a lot of everything else as well being thrown in at Fisher there. And now a lot of space can be claimed. And the high ground too, which is going to be fairly important. Happy's going to make good use of that.
I mean, what's really interesting about Guangzhou is you rarely see these solo kills. They're setting up kills like you would combo ultimates. The halts are coming in. They're getting like 4 or 5 people in the kill feed with assists and final blows. Taking a lot of free space here. The Blizzard is the next big ult to come up. Both supports ready for the charge as well, so you can just drop a window and see if any of these lives hurt.
Uh-oh, there's the window. That's a lot of damage. Nero's going to be able to just chunk people out, though. There's the Flux up in the sky. Can they finish off any of these kills, though? The Transcendent's going to come in clutch for the charge. Happy will end up falling, and the cart is being slowly moved by the charge. It finds 2, but they still need to actually touch this payload. It's going to move onto the bridge, and Vancouver are going to find themselves in more of an attacking position at this point. Sominsu and Stitch do have ults available as they finally do end up touching the payload to contest, or at least they will in a couple of seconds. It's only a couple of meters from actually completing this second checkpoint.
I mean, this is super interesting. Goodbye, Krong. Yoinked. Krong is off the edge.
Bye-bye.
I thought that the Charge were going to be able to buy enough time to get people to get back in, and I think that might have been the plan for Nero to try to buy enough time, put a wall up, maybe get people in, and then throw down a Blizzard. But smartly enough, the Titans didn't all rotate down. They just put 3 people on the cart to try to contest that. But then if anyone was going to try to come in, there was still a bunch of Titans on the high ground to be able to deny that. Guangzhou is going to have 4 ultimates in this, what is going to be their final attempt at the second point.
Dragon Strike from below. That wall, not bad at all. And that Transcendence as well is just going to keep everybody alive. Reactive Transcendence from Twilight, though. Not sure how much healing it did actually get done. There's the Dragon Strike in the small corridor. That's a big Immortality Field, though, from Neptuno. It's going to save so many people. Charge now rushing on down, but they're going to rush straight into Sominsu and Twilight's damage. Rio and Neptuno fall, and now 30 seconds remains for the Charge. Titans are going to still be in control, and in fact, that's one left alone Nero. Yeah, you're going to fall, and that means you're not going to be available for this next fight. They do have a lot of ults coming in. Krong, Nero, Neptuno are going to have their own, but someone needs to touch.
This is looking all the way bad.
Happy
for
is
Guangzhou.
touching. Oh, accretion! Oh, that missed some. Okay, I thought that hit. Oh, Happy ends up going down though to Stitch from the back line. Immortality Field up, just try and save the point. Rio though dragged up in the air, quickly dispatched with, and that should just be it. Flux is going to bring up everybody to the skies. And just before second point, Eichenwald, a rather treacherous map, especially when it comes to double shield. You saw how slow, and I mentioned before how slow these compositions were to set up, but they didn't really want to take a fight or take control of the payload until the enemy team was wiped, but that cost them so much time actually getting to the high ground and actually trying to execute that Hex.
Yeah, it was just, you're talking about the double shields, like where are you going to try to attack in? If you go through Castle, you're getting walled off, and then the shields are up anyway, and then the Mei is in there messing you up. If you try to go through Archway, Vancouver always had a contingent on the high ground, and Hangzhou's up there. I mean, there's a reason why medieval lore has archers on the walls. It's a really good spot for archery. You just shoot down into people. You know, Stitch doing his best Legolas impression up top, and they just never had a clean entry once they got to second point. Guangzhou was never able to really get anything going, and then there was a lot of times where I thought they just should have reset, and they just had a couple people pushing, but it ended up to really long, drawn-out fights, specifically Nero at the very end, but also on the bridge push that they thought they were going to get. I mean, I think it was supposed to be bait, where you put Nero and a couple people on the cart, and then all of the Titans react, and then Nero and a couple people back off. They get reinforcements, and then you have a 6v6. But the Titans never fell for it. Really nice hold on second. And if the Titans can push it just a little bit further, about $120, then we're going to have a tied-up series here, Joss.
That we will. Couple of seconds before the gates unlock. No cheeky Widow pick for the Titans. Just going to roll out same old, same old.
It's on the McCree now instead of the Hanzo. See what he can get done there.
Well, he's going to be able to do a fair bit of damage to shields if, not as much as the Hanzo, but still McCree pretty good at demolishing those. You need a little bit more than that though, I'm afraid. That is a very big wraparound from Charge. Twilight did not stand a chance. There's like 6 people on top of him in a moment's notice. Neptuno on the Lucio just aiding in that and punching Fisher out of the sky. A tick claimed though by the Titans. Charge do end up touching the point to stop that second one from coming through, but not a bad start. 1 minute for 61%. Well, it will go back down to 33, but still not bad at all for a quick wrap.
Yeah, they made a couple changes. Jaehoon goes over to the Brigida. I think that is going to be the only change he makes, though. Guangzhou still holding strong here.
Oh my goodness. Could you think of a worse pick if you were the Charge right now? Your Mei end up going down against the Mei. Oh, Stitch. He's looking so clean on the Hanzo. He's almost got that ultimate available as well, but Twilight ends up getting one-shot by the Fire Strike through the Amplification Mages, but Happy also goes down. Both TPS now dead. Nero's going to take a long time to actually get back to the point, plus has to basically walk past the Titans. Yeah, now Titans can basically slowly move their way on the point. There's the Shatter, only one down. Are they going to be able to do anything with it? That's a lot of damage down to Jaehoon. He ends up falling, but Krong now find themselves in a horrible situation up against Stitch. And Sominsu with the Blizzard on the point does find one. A beautiful elevation. Oh my word. You thought Immortality Field could save you? I think not. Happy ends up killing off Sominsu, but Nero is still alive, but hasn't really got much to work with. Has to wait for his... Oh, and he gets skill orbed. Unreal. Twilight ends up taking out Nero, and a beautiful cap from the Titans.
Yeah, the immortality field doesn't extend all the way into heaven like a beacon of the rapture. Able to just push him up and get that shot. Really cute little play there. Something maybe not a lot of players think about, but this is the highest level of Overwatch, so of course that's going to happen. Happy's got Deadeye, though. In the high ground, it might be a game-changing ultimate.
Oh, Stitch again from the side. Didn't get frozen up at all. That was Charge's opportunity to kind of run on them with the Lucio. That Blizzard doing a lot of work now, creating a lot of space for Stitch to do that work done. And hey, would you look at that? They're going to get their payload moving. But Charge have got a lot of ults to work with. It's going to be on Stitch once again to try and find a pick-off here because Nero has got the Blizzard. But Titans have the high ground, so they're going to have that advantage in their back pocket.
Yeah, Stitch has 10 or 13 final blows. The next closest is Rio on the other team with 9.
Oh, Deadeye. Who's the fastest draw in the West? Happy, not quite so lucky. Falls down to the ground as well. I'm not sure he wanted to be there at all. A beautiful armor pack straight onto Jaehong. Oh, just everything is being thrown in. There's a Blizzard coming through from Nero as well, separating everybody from the point. About 17 million ultimates were thrown in there, and only survivor there was the Charge, saving a couple of their own. That beat from Nero was so good at sustaining through all of that incoming damage. Krong will end up going down though, but Rio is going to be able to hold this corner rather well with the Supercharger. Titans still playing this rather tempered, want to be able to get space first before they try an engagement.
Yeah, just by the numbers, you would think that the Charge have the advantage here, just given that they're ultimates. That's why they're going to try to rotate up top. There's just Stitch's Dragon. Does come up from the depths. Doesn't get anything done. Well, a little bit damage at the end. No kills. Oh my god!
What? Shu goes down. One healer available, and it's only Neptuno. Points still being contested. They're so close to landing this W, 5 meters away. Krong ends up taking out Janu. That pick might have been what they needed, but the rest of Charge are going to come up big. Stitch now moving forward. Immortality Field's going to save them from dying just for the moment, and Fisher ends up going a little bit too aggressive and gets taken down. Stitch almost coming in clutch, but the Charge a little bit more quicker on the draw. They do end up wiping the Titans, but only a couple of meters stands in the way now of tightening up the series.
Yeah, they're going to have 2 fights at this too, with 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Siemens is going to have Blizzard ready to go as well. But high ground is taken by the Charge. It's very difficult to just kind of boot people off of the high ground with the meta as it is, and the heroes out of the pool, specifically D.Va. So it's going to be a slow push here, and this is where Guangzhou got stuck too, because with these double shields, the entry is so difficult.
Yeah, they're going to want to wait this out. They have a minute and 40, and you only need 1 team fight here to actually take it, so you might as well wait that.
Like, you can get 2 fights here. You just don't want to use everything. Maybe go in and try to drain ults out of Guangzhou.
Well, there's the music. Tempo is heightened, and so is the damage. That's why, like, Coalescence ripping through the shields. Blizzard comes through in the back. Nero needs his. That Shadow going a little bit waylaid. This could just be it. Nero throws in his own Blizzard, but Janu ends up getting taken out by the Deadeye. Oh no! Once again, Titan's so close to delivering this payload to that box of victory, but so far, Nero has just been so good at staying alive. It's a bit of a different story from what we saw in map 1, where he's getting taken out time and time again first. The Blizzard came in clutch, and it created so much space for the Charge, and isolating Janu as well as he was going for that flux. Now, only 1 fight remains for the Titans. They don't want to go down 2-0. Charge so close to match point.
And you got to give Shu a ton of credit too. I mean, his immortality fields have been everywhere that they needed to be.
Yeah, you hit it on the entry.
Absolutely. Matrix for this last
stop all that damage coming through and stop them from playing aggressive and burn the shield of Fisher, so we can't play aggressive. There it is. There's the window. Instantly, you see Fisher getting taken down. Double dink on the headshot. Shatter not available for the Titans now, as the rest of them are going to fall. Charge, just unreal aggression up in the front. No way you're going to be able to survive that. Jaehong dragged off the edge, and there it is. Charge looking good. 2-0 in the series as they take Archenvold. Titans, right at the very end, apologies for the brief pause here. Texas audio is going to be out for a brief moment in time. But Titans end up going down on what could have been a W if only they killed Nero off at the very end. He got the Blizzard out and being able to set up that window at the very end, killing off Fisher, denying them using the Shatter. We're going to jump to a quick break though, guys. Do not go anywhere. Charge on match point. We'll see you in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor. And by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
This is it, the official Overwatch League apparel. Designed by Staple, engineered for gamers.
Legend of Soul Guard. Download now.
Hey guys, welcome back. Titans facing off against the Charge. Eichenwald Bridge was Titans' downfall as Charge leads the series 2-0. looking pretty strong so far. This is the game break presented by Cheez-It Grooves. And Hex, you're back. It's crunch time. What do they need to do? What is happening? Why is Stitch getting so many kills? But why is Happy getting so many kills? Why are Charge demolishing the Titans? Titans looking good, but Charge looking better.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's crunch time, so we try to figure out what the Titans need to do to figure it out. At least I think they played a competent composition there. They did go to the grave with ultimates a couple times, though. Fissure died with an Earthshatter at that very last point. I think right now, if you're the Titans, you pick one player to try to isolate and just really figure out. The problem is, Guangzhou's got about 3 players who are going off right now. I think Shu played really well on the Baptiste. Shu's been a staple for this team for a long time. Happy, of course, I don't think you're ever going to be able to truly shut down Happy. You can just hope that Stitch can stay even with him, which I think is fair. They'll neutralize each other. And then maybe Krong. I mean, he hit so many fire strikes, and he was doing it on the Reinhardt of all things, too. So maybe you try to isolate Neptuno or Shu. You try to just figure out, let's take away one of the pieces that's going off on this team rather than just trying to stay even, because I think Stitch can neutralize Happy. They can both get the same value, but then you have to figure out like who else is beating us on this Charge team. Let's isolate them and take them out. And I think really you got to stop dying with good ultimates. I mean, Fissure dying, and then there's a couple times where they lost Blizzard in weird ways. So the Titans, it's been 2 months. They look a little rusty. They got to shake that rust off, and I guess, you know, that's about it. It's kind of hard to say.
I mean, yeah, we did say right at the start of the series, like 2 months is a long time off, especially in esports, like just in general, and playing in a big league. It feels like they needed to be well, obviously playing consistently, but playing just at this level and live games as well, just permanently, because right now, like you said, a little bit of rust. They need to be able to shake that off, come back in the series. They're looking for the reverse sweep now. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. We've got map number 3 coming up soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch. The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX. Unleash your style, unleash your fury with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, Titans. This is their chance. Volskaya Industries is going to be the map. They need to find 3 wins in a row to take the series home, because Charge sitting on that match point. We just discussed how they need to get back into the series. Now's the chance to do it. No substitutions here, Hex. No. We're going in with the same 12.
But here's some hope for the Titans fans, is that in 2019, all the way back then in esports times, the Titans did set the 3rd fastest time ever on Volskaya with 1:33, and it was against this Guangzhou Charge team. So, there's some history here. The Charge did win Volskaya, I believe, last week against Hangzhou in pretty convincing fashion. So, we'll see. But the Titans getting swept here would be weird. I do give them a little bit of a pass, because maybe they've been scrimming, but scrimming is not the same as actually playing a game. And they have gone through a tumultuous period of perhaps relocation and getting everything done. I mean, like, it's a tumultuous period for a lot of people, but the Titans have been moving, and they haven't played in 2 months. Guangzhou's been playing week after week. So a little bit of a pass, but now that's our game break. That's halftime, It's do or die now for the Titans. This could be a very short evening after 1-3-0. On the verge of another 3-0, but the Titans are good at this map, so I don't know. There's a chance, but it's also a map that you got to shut down Happy on. He could play the Tracer. You could play anything on this. He's just my favorite player. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna try to cover it up like, oh, I like all players equally. No, Happy's my favorite player.
No, actually, I just like Happy. Well,
you know, I'm not like biased, but I'm a little bit biased.
That's okay. You got a lot of time to spend indoors to admire him. Don't worry about that. Some people are shaving their head, Dogman. Some people are cutting their own hair, Sparkle. Also going a little bit insane, it seems, as well. I do enjoy watching his streams.
I cut
cannot
my own hair
wait.
today. I cut my own hair as well.
You cut your own? Well,
no,
I
just,
don't
you know,
dare do
I did
that.
the little neck parts that you were supposed to cut. You know.
Funnily enough,
fluff.
I cut the plants in my aquarium. I bought aquascaping like tools. Maybe I can use those to cut my hair. They're the closest things I have to like trimming anything at this point. Let's talk about the comms. Let's get back. Let's get into the game. Enough about cutting our own hair and shaving our heads. Happy and Nero, they're on the Tracer and the Farah. They're coming up against Sominsu. So same kind of composition of Vancouver were running on to Paul. They're gonna have a lot of trouble running into Farah against this though.
Okay, this is. I mean, they still haven't made up their minds yet. It just changes all across here. Yeah, it's going all over the place. All right, 30 seconds
has
in.
been elapsed though.
Yeah, we've settled in on an offensive comp. 30 seconds in, and Neptuno switches too. All right. At some point, we're gonna play it.
Oh. Yeah, goodbye. No. No May. No May for us. Back to point we go. Nope. Please don't get caught out. You'd have to recall. There we go. All right, Happy's going to be wanting to take their duels on the high ground, I can imagine. Speaking of high ground, I think that's exactly where they are going to go. Sominsu's up there already. Can't really make a big entrance here on the Doomfist. It's going to be a bit of a problem. They're kind of negating a lot of this presence from the Doomfist, honestly, already. Yeah, there you go. Sominsu now getting dueled out by Happy. Nice little dash away. Gets healed up by the rest of them.
Yeah, he was hunting Twilight, but he had eyes in the back of his head because Jaehong was waiting near Twilight. Twilight was almost just the bait there to try to get...
Look at that. He's dead. He just dies. Well, there you go. And he almost has Pulse Bomb as well. Jaehong can't do anything. 200 HP shield in a dream. And Happy getting permanently armor packed as well, which means he ain't going down oh so quickly. One tick has already been acquired. Or at least, no, sorry, almost been acquired. They're like 1 pixel off. Coalescence being used early on. Happy has Pulse. They already have Cole. This is a steamroll. Speaking of records, not going to be quite there just yet. They are looking so quick. Melee, dodges out the way. Doesn't quite get the health back, though. Sominsu's just going to steal that. Happy is just on an absolute tear. Just go for it. Kill him. The dash. Can he get it again? Of course he can. Happy cleaning up the DPS line. Vancouver are just crumpling like a garden chair on a hot summer's day.
It took him a long time to get into it, but it's now 7-0 of eliminations in favor of Guangzhou. And I described Happy's Widow as just this great target acquisition. It's fluid, it looks natural.
This is disgusting.
His Tracer's relentless. She just doesn't stop chasing people ever. When you think a normal Tracer would have left, Happy's still going after it.
Oh, and Fisher, he got caught. He had to use Primal Rage. Almost gets taken down as well. He should be okay, though, to get back to the rest of his team. There's a lot of free ult charge, actually, for Jaehong Twilight.
Supercharger Blizzard, they have everything up, but they forced out 2 ultimates that have gotten nothing so far. 3.
Unfortunate. Janu dies in midair, and Happy's still alive somehow. Fisher's going to go down. I think this might just be it. I'm going to be honest with you. This comp is very good at holding the point. Jaehong's in the back line, still trying to duel Happy, who's refusing to die. There he goes. Eventually falls down to Zhu. And the ball gets frozen again. Whole hog available. Coalescence going off. 3 minute plus time bank. There's the whole hog. Fisher, sayonara, straight into the frozen lake. Take a dip, my friend. 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Charge with an absolute steamroll of Voskaya.
That was so strange. They go in, and the Pulse Bomb hits the Zenyatta, so forces out Trents. That's gone. Don't have to worry about that. They hook in Winston, forces out Primal. That's gone. Don't have to worry about that. They put the ball in a lot of trouble. Minefield comes out. They just deal with that. No problem. 13 eliminations to 0 for Guangzhou versus Vancouver.
Well,
Vancouver
that's not great.
With a 0-kill defense? Yeah. That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it.
Something has to change here, it feels. Although on the defense it is a little bit more difficult, especially on first point, to go with a counter comp, because you know, spawn obviously is rather far away.
Fair
Which
enough, but...
oh well, there we go. Goodbye, Nero. You're just BMing them at this point. This is come on, Nero. Well, Titans now get their chance to attack. Charge doing what they do best, or what they've been doing best this whole series, going with that double shield. Happy on the Kree. Would like to see him on the Tracer, but yeah, the Kree is good enough. It's kind of I see Kree as more of like an all-rounder, to be honest with you. It kind of stops Vancouver really going far. If they do, obviously it has to play a little bit more defensive. Tracer wouldn't be able to deal with it too much, although I say that. Happy did demolish on that a little bit. Oh, sorry, that was the last series. Sorry, on Hollywood was what I was thinking. These games have gone so quickly, Hex. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, I mean, right now is the time we're supposed to be starting this series, and we might be close to ending it right now. But you generally think of McCree as a more defensive hero rather than a Tracer, but, you know, vice versa. Tracer's good at offense, able to pick people down, rather than waiting for people to come into your point of view, especially on these assault maps. You don't necessarily think of Tracer as a great defensive hero on assault maps.
The perfect voice line as well. Nero knew this was going to happen all along. The hang in there voice line being spammed. Unreal. Unreal tech. Both in and outside the server. Nero has it down. He has the customization down to a T. There's the speed boost straight on top of the Titans. Nice immortality field, though, to start them off with. But Janu does end up falling, and now Krong menacingly walking towards the Titans as the rest of them end up falling. That'll be it. Hang in there. Well, they're trying, but they're not succeeding, unfortunately.
Yeah, not looking super great. Johnny on the Roadhog didn't get much done. They're trying to get this pulled pork composition here, get the halt and the hook in, try to get an opening pick. But, you know, double shields up for Guangzhou. We've seen double shield a lot of the night, Roadhog mixed in as well. It's going to be interesting to see what meta transpires as we move over to different regions tomorrow afternoon. But for now, Titans are just going up against a brick wall. And I mean, Happy's with the cleanup, but he's got so much room because his tanks are never dying.
Hang in there.
Still no kills for the Titans.
I'm going to be dreaming about this later on tonight, and so is Twilight. That one-shot flame strike straight through the Amp Matrix. Fire Strike is so disgusting. We saw obviously that clip a few weeks ago of the just ludicrous,
yeah, the
halt
flame strike, yeah,
flame,
on
straight
Village, right?
through the window. Yeah, it was just ridiculous. So it does require the reset, and now Charge building up towards a Blizzard. They got Deadeye. There's so little it feels Titans could do at this point.
It's really cool little tech there if you don't know it. When you play Rissa, shooting his shield straight up, you get the cooldown start going, and then the shield just plops right down in front of you. First shatter happening.
Hang in there, boys. Krong's got a shatter. There's the Deadeye as well, straight on top. See you later. Sominsu finds a kill. He killed Chu. Oh my goodness. He's done it. He's broken. There's 0 kills. Oh, he's going to die, though. That could have been a disgust. Well, it wouldn't have been that much of a stagger, but team kill. 1 minute and 30 seconds. The map could, and the series could just end in the next 1:30. Yeah, Vancouver Titans do have ults coming online, but they're still running into a Blizzard plus a Supercharger.
And the Neptuno Taxi is actually going to bring them back to full force as well. So the Orisa kind of slow, but they're going to get Rio back into this fight. He's going to have a Supercharger, but they do have to give up positioning here. So this is actually the furthest the Titans have gotten into this map so far.
Dragon Strike. Beautiful Transcendence, though, to navigate around that. Very defensive Blizzard. Not the biggest fan of that. I'm not sure Titans are either. Oh my goodness, though. But Shoo from the side takes out Stitch. 47 seconds now remains. Charge still sitting on the point. They got a couple of support ultimates as well to back them up with. And Krong just swinging for the fences. Jaehong is going to go down. And Titans still struggling to put themselves on this point. There is one more fight before they end up giving up this series 3-0 in what has to be one of our quickest nights so far of the Overwatch League.
I am falling in love with Krong. First of all, because his name sounds like something you would name a caveman. Just Krong going nuts. But he's just aggressive. He's finishing
Krong
his hammer
smash.
kills. He's played off tank, but his Reinhardters look good tonight. And now the Titans' last gasp here have to push into 2 support ultimates. They have tank ults, though. You have to get value here.
There's the window. Fire Strike's not going to connect. They're going to go around the side. Flux is going to come up, and now Happy launches into the air. Oh, it's so good, though, but they don't touch! Oh, no! They don't touch. GG's all around, and Charge end up taking the map and the series 3-0. 2 series 3-0 back-to-back. Unreal scenes. Happy is going to be our player of the match as well. Surprise, surprise. Almost a brand new look, it feels like, from the Charge there. Titans just not looking like themselves.
If you're happy and you know it, clap the Titans. What the hell was that? This is not the Vancouver team that we expected to see. This is a team with way too much talent to let that happen, but I guess conversely, like, we already did all the caveats for why Vancouver didn't play well. This Charge team looked clean. I mean, in a meta where you can have damage dealers do a lot and kind of carry your team a little bit, Happy was up to the task today, similar to how we saw Godsby. Although Godsby, I think his tanks played a little bit better, but this Charge team, you really saw people making mistakes, and Happy capitalized every single time. His Tracer was good, his Hangzhou was good, his McCree was good. That's kind of sick. We didn't even see his Widow, but everyone on this team, I think Krong is a great addition to this squad too, to the versatility that he has to be able to play the Roadhog and play the Reinhardt. His Reinhardt play was insane when you're asking, like, kind of an off-tank Reinhardt play because you're running Orisa and Reinhardt. Just looked really good for this Guangzhou team, but Happy is, yeah, I mean, he's every bit as I expected him to be. He's great.
Yeah, surprise, 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 surprise. Hex complimenting Happy at the end of the game. Well, he was our player of the match, of course. And like you said, yeah, Krong just doing so well. And we spoke about it in the last series, how, especially with Double Shield, your tanks really have to be on the same page. Formerly of O2 Blast coming up from Contenders Korea, now into the league. A perfect addition to the roster, it feels like, slotting in so well amongst some big veterans on the squad. Nero obviously doing a fantastic job too. It took a little bit of time, it felt like, to kind of warm up in the series. A couple of times he was dying first up on Nepal, but then he just got in the rhythm of things, basically, and then was just able to duel out on the May v Maze as well. It was looking so good for the Charge. And the Spark too. It seems like everybody's beating everybody at the moment. It's a big, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's got to be something crazy.
There's a couple
I don't want
words, but you can't say it on broadcast.
Well, yeah, okay. I definitely wasn't thinking those. I promise. I'm a good boy.
I'm sorry.
Well, now Charge putting themselves and setting themselves up for success. Do Titans need to shake off this rust, like we said before? And I'll harp on it again. They've had 2 months off. Do they need maybe another week in order to kind of get back into the groove of things and settle into it all?
I think so. I think they came in with that plan on dive that just seemed like it got out-comped really early on, and then I guess they had plans. They tried to make some things done, some individual play from Stitch. Like I said, there's just too much talent on this team to have what happened to them tonight. I mean, it was close, but they didn't play since February. I think if you're Titans fans, you can kind of just chalk this one up to this, all right, just throw it away, forget about it, let them settle in, let them settle down. And I also think you can't discount the competition they went up against. When Guangzhou played Hangzhou, you didn't really know who was like good or was bad, but it was super close between those two teams, but we just saw them both demolish other teams tonight. So that's just what happened. And yeah, I mean, this Guangzhou team, I want to give Shu a ton of credit too. Like, you never really see the supports get a ton of credit, but when he's playing well, going all the way back to last year, this Charge team wins games when he's playing well. New additions, Happy gets to play his things. I think if you're the Titans, it's one of those things of like, all right, let's just forget about it and move on. You might not even VOD review, you might not even do much about it. It's be like, okay, never mind, just everyone get some rest. We're moving on to the next one.
Well, there's plenty more weeks to go, that is for sure. Good luck for the Chinese teams coming into this week, though. Like you said, Charge and Spark finding 3-0s. But that is going to be it for me and Hex this evening. I hope you've enjoyed the ride. We're going to see you very soon, I am sure. More Overwatch to come, though, today or tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're in, of course. But we'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for production, and thank you for watching, everybody on YouTube. We'll see you all very soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network.